CBD oil contains cannabidiol, one of the many chemicals that are found in the cannabis plant. Many governments, including the UK government, have made CBD oil legal for anybody to buy over the counter. And the reason is that it's a very safe product. It has very few effects, for example, on the mind and the brain, very few psychogenic effects. But for similar reasons, it's not really as effective as many of the other substances found in cannabis. And so many people with long-term pain or anxiety or other difficult problems are not very much helped by CBD oil. Full-strength cannabis medicines, by contrast, may contain 2, 3, or even 10 of the substances found in cannabis plants, both the cannabinoids and also terpenes. And using the right blend and balance of those for each person and for each set of symptoms and even for each time of day can be so much more powerful and beneficial to people than CBD oil by itself. Cannabis medicines interact with specific molecules called receptors that are found in the brain and also the other parts of the central nervous system that process pain. So nature has already put receptors there in our bodies for cannabinoids because our own bodies make cannabinoids. It's thought that in people who have long-term pain or anxiety or other difficulties, their own cannabinoid production may be insufficient. And we can use exogenous, that's from plants outside cannabinoids, to rebalance people's nervous systems so that they can feel less pain, less anxiety, or less depression, and also, very importantly, to sleep better. For most of our patients who haven't used cannabis before, we can prescribe cannabis oils, which are put under the tongue and absorbed through the lining of the mouth. These can be used maybe 3 or 4 times a day and give benefit for 8 or 12 hours or more. For some people, often those who have used cannabis in the past or recently, they need stronger doses. And we tend to provide those by inhalation. We use vaporizers to vaporize cannabis oil or cannabis plant to give a more powerful dose that's absorbed through a bigger part of the body, through the lungs and so on. If you take cannabis oil, the benefit comes on gradually over maybe 3/4 of an hour or so, but that's fine because if you take 3 doses a day, they overlap each other and you get continuous benefit. And that's often very suitable for people who are out and about at work and so on. They don't want suddenly to feel a little bit groggy or woozy or something. But if you take the medicine by inhalation, then it may work within 10 or 15 minutes. And that could be useful if you suddenly have a bad pain. It can also be useful at night when you just want to get a night's sleep and fall asleep fairly quickly. So sometimes people have oils during the day and then a vaporizer at night. Well, I've got a lot of experience over 20 years working in the NHS pain clinic. And I've come to realize that many of the medicines which we regard as strong painkillers are not really very helpful. I'm thinking of morphine and pregabalin and amitriptyline and so on. And they can also be very burdensome in terms of side effects. People become sleepy or lose their memory or whatever, and they become very dependent and addicted to those medicines. By contrast, cannabis medicines are much more natural and very rarely cause sleepiness or confusion or memory loss. In fact, we intend never to cause those symptoms and we never want to make anybody high. We're really using much lower doses than in joints for some people, for most people. The other benefit, in my opinion, is that cannabis medicines do not seem to cause dependency in the same way as conventional medicines, and therefore the person's much more in control, particularly if they want to come off their cannabis medicines for some reason.